Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the Mike Armstrong podcast show and also YouTube channel, and wherever else I decide to put this video, probably LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. I thought I'd come on this morning and have a little chat about podcasting because there seems to be a lot of people are thinking about taking it up or looking for advice at the moment. So I thought I'd put a video out there and just tell people a little bit about my journey. We're now sat in August as I record this video, the end of August, just about to enter into September. And I've been podcasting since April, start of lockdown really, which is April, May, June, July, August, about 5 months. So I thought I'd come on and share, a bit of that journey, a bit of what I've been doing, and a bit of advice and help for other people maybe looking to replicate the journey or do something similar or just get going with a podcast. So in April, I decided to do podcasting. I actually set up a podcast in December, did an introductory episode, but then never actually got going because I was trying to work out, my content marketing strategy, if you like, what I was going to talk about and how consistently I would be able to talk about it. So I actually set up the podcast in December. Then I went on a few podcasts and listened to a few podcasts, etc., sort of January, February, March, just, thinking I'll start at some point. Then the lockdown happened and I thought actually there's no better time to start it than now because I got time on my hands and I got a crystallized content marketing strategy which was helping people during the lockdown and with their mental health and just with education and just helping people wherever I could really. And so I knew I'd be able to consistently create content in that because I like helping people and I've got lots of different ways that I can help people. So that's key really, is to make sure you got your content sorted first and you can be consistent with it. And then I actually looked at a few different podcast options, but Anchor seemed to be the easiest one to set up. All you had to do was download an app on your phone and you could get going with it really. And that's what I've done. So I recorded my first few episodes on my phone using, just the mic and the everything speakers or whatever on the phone, and that's been fine for me. I decided early on that instead of just doing audio episodes, I would create a feature where I chatted with my entrepreneur friends because I do a lot of business networking. So I decided that I would do those chats via Zoom because I could take the audio and the video out of Zoom and put them into, the podcast and my YouTube channel. So I'm getting more bang for my buck and more use of my time, really, more efficiency in my time. So I decided to do that as well, but I do a lot of my own recorded episodes just still on my phone. So a lot of people procrastinate about setting up a podcast because they're like, oh, well, what equipment do I need? What soundproof room do I need? All that sort of stuff. I'm lucky I live in a quiet area. I've got not much interruption from sound elsewhere. I've got a decent smartphone, which it seems to pick up the sound fine. And my laptop and Zoom seems to pick up the sound fine. So I haven't actually invested in any equipment. I just use the equipment I already had. And I just, started by creating content. And when you start off, if you've got a theme in mind and, content you want to talk about, then, you'll start off and you'll be a bit slow and a bit, pausing and thinking and all that when you start. But if you just keep going like anything else, the more you practice, the better you get. Practice makes perfect, as they say, and you'll get into the swing of it. So, I've been a blogger for 15 years, and podcasting and blogging, I would say, is quite similar. Still talking and communicating to an audience and building an audience up. I find speaking easier than typing and writing, etc. So podcasting for me has been a lot easier. But I've used similar sort of strategies that I used in blogging, things like having different features and different streams, if you like, that you can go down with your content. So, I talk about all the things I know about. So I talk about business, entrepreneurialism, personal development. I talk about sales, marketing, networking, social media, all the sort of things I know. I've got lots and lots of content in my head about and can keep creating and more content, and also will develop more and more content over time because I'm constantly learning in all of those areas myself. Even though I'm an expert, you can never be, fully learned and trained in any area of life. So I keep teaching myself more and more, which means I'll always have a new stream of content and information because as I develop, the content will develop. So the audience and the podcast will grow as I grow. So that's pretty much some of the tips and the advice that I would give. You don't need a load of expensive equipment. Just use whatever equipment you've got. And if you haven't got any equipment to start with, then you just need a laptop or a mobile phone. You need a content marketing strategy. You need a lot of content in your head. So you need to know a lot about something and be passionate about it. I'm passionate about business and entrepreneurialism and personal development, etc., which is why I've got lots of content in that area and why I can keep producing content. And I would say you probably got to be consistent. Maybe one episode a day or one a week. I actually produce a lot more than that, but I'm a bit unique and I'm a bit different, and that's my USP, if you like. That's what makes me a bit different. I'm willing to go over and above what other people are normally willing to do. Pick a topic that you know a lot about. Be enthusiastic about it. If you want to get yourself some equipment to improve the sounds or whatever a little bit, then by all means do, but just get going first. If you decide, if everything goes well and it's going really good, at some point you can give yourself a quiet studio or a mic and all that stuff, but you don't need to all that stuff to get going. So get going first, see how it goes. If you take well to podcasting and podcasting takes well to you, then you can always invest more down the line, really. So that would be some of my tips and some of my advice and some of what I've learned. I actually have, since the end of April, done over 560 episodes, and I had my 6,000th download last night. So for me, it's just about building slowly, building momentum. I do a bit of marketing my podcast and my YouTube channel on all my different social media, etc. But that's because I'm a marketeer. I think you have got to have a bit of a marketing plan. Hopefully, at some point, then the podcast channels will kick in by helping me as well. And obviously, you've got to engage with an audience and get people to download your podcast and listen and like it and share it, etc. So it's all a bit of a journey. I'm still early on in that journey, but I'm a little bit ahead of some people. So I thought I'd just demonstrate, a little bit about how that journey started for me and what I've been doing, hopefully to encourage and help other people get going on their journey. And as and when I learn more and more about the journey and what I'm doing and the podcasting journey and route, I'll share that information with other people. If you're an entrepreneur and you've been through a similar journey, either with podcasting or with other things, or you just have got a story that you want to tell about your business or some products and services and solutions you want to share with my network of people and my audience, etc., feel free to get in touch with me. You can find out more about me at mikearmstrong.me or just by Google searching or social media searching for Mike Armstrong. And if you can't find me, which you should be able to do because I'm everywhere, but just look for hashtag Mike Armstrong and you'll really narrow and pinpoint me down then. So that's pretty much all I want to say. Nothing else left to say other than have a great day. I know I will. And thanks very much for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.